All right, for my last video installment, I am with Mark Carnes, and he is a PE teacher at Thunder Ridge High School. He is also the head strength and conditioning coach that encompasses our entire athletic department, includes all male athletes and female athletes. He coordinates a program that does a great job in training all of our athletes, regardless of their sport and the type of movement that is overriding in their sport. He's also an assistant football coach, assistant wrestling coach, and assistant baseball coach for our school. So we're going to talk a little bit about the professional development from the perspective of a physical education teacher and then nationally as a certified strength coach. So first of all, in recent memory, what has been the best professional development activity you have participated in, and what made this professional development different from others?
The best one in recent memory is we have in the district a Java-like program where all the PE teachers get together as a group for a day and kind of share some ideas and share what they've been doing in their classrooms and in their settings. Because typically in my experience, I haven't had many good professional development situations or sessions because everything tends to be geared towards the English, social studies, math, the gen ed teachers and what they do in their classrooms, and it doesn't ever really focus on electives and specifically PE type situations. We tend to get kind of forgotten about. Sometimes they talk about some electives, but PE kind of gets swept under the rug a lot of times. And so we really have to dig deep into what's being said and how we're going to connect that to what we do, which a lot of times is pretty difficult. So that was pretty good, and have gotten myself ready to go on a national strength conference coming up next summer, which I think will be extremely helpful because it'll be nothing but people doing the same thing that we're doing in the weight room, give us some new ideas and different ways to approach how we teach and how we train those kids. That'll actually be specific to what I do, as opposed to trying to pull pieces out of what other people are saying for the general ed classrooms.
So great. In your view, what are the most essential practices to being a quality teacher?
I'd say the biggest is planning, knowing what you're going to do before students arrive, knowing how you're going to approach each day and each lesson prior to them showing up. But then also knowing your students, knowing who's in that class, and knowing who they are personally, as well as how they learn. So then you can adjust. Another thing, you can adjust what you're teaching and how you're teaching based on the individual and based on the class. How each kid learns and who they are a little bit personally. That way you have that working relationship with them where they can learn from you a little bit better, and you can adjust their learning accordingly.
I think it's important for people to understand that there's actually, in a strength class, planning does take place. And in a successful strength program, it's not just open the doors and let kids have free reign to the weight room like they go to the rec center. It's important for core area teachers to understand that there's purposeful planning that goes behind designing the kids' workouts. So from that list, have your professional development experiences aligned with these characteristics?
Yes and no. The planning piece, we get a lot of lesson plan, professional development stuff, which can be difficult for me at times because it's not necessarily how I plan, how I see things. And so taking how I plan and then just adjusting it to how it's being taught to us can be difficult at times. But yeah, we do get some professional development on planning, on lesson planning, ways that we're supposed to do things, and then a little bit on understanding students and relating to the students, and then adjusting what you're teaching based on those students. Again, it goes back to, we get that professional development, but at the same time, I then have to take it into my context and adjust it and modify how things are being taught to fit my setting.
Have you found when you've had your course alike or job alike professional development situations with other strength coaches? Our strength program has been very, very successful over the years. Our building's only been open 20 years, and we've won 21 state titles in a wide range of sports, from multiple in football, basketballs, and then golf. Do you find other strength coaches use that professional development time to, for lack of a better term, steal ideas from our program and what we do?
Yeah, quite often in what I've seen, they've seen our successes and seen what it is that we do, and see how productive and successful it's been for our athletes and for our students in general, as a general population, not just our football program or a certain program. It's for a wide range of our athletes, and a lot of them want to know what we're doing and how we're doing it, and tend to take things that they see. We tend to host those sessions here because people want to see what we're doing.
So, as a teacher, you're asked to differentiate your instruction, and that applies to a strength program similarly as it does to math. You can't have every kid in the weight room lifting the same weight. So, do you believe that your professional development should be tailored to different groups of teachers?
I think so. I think it's different in every setting. PE is kind of unique in that you got a lot of kids moving in a space all at once, whereas other classrooms, they have desks that, sure, they may move around time to time, but we do a lot more movement, and it's a little more difficult to differentiate at times if you can't see what everyone's doing. So to tailor that to the PE teachers is advantageous, because then they can work on getting to every kid in that classroom a little bit easier, because it is more difficult with a bigger area and kids moving all the time. So you have to be able to differentiate what they're doing, but you have to also be able to get to them to be able to differentiate what it is they're doing. And that is a different skill and a different process than being in a classroom. I've been in a classroom setting as well, and some of the differentiation stuff I've learned in professional development has been good for that setting, but not necessarily worked as well in a PE or a weight room setting.
Well, great. Thanks for your time today, Coach Carnes. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.